Welcome to the podcast From Coffee to Cases, the show for small law firm attorneys who want to stop begging for leads and start building a business that runs on referrals and real relationships.
Welcome to From Coffee to Cases with Delisi Friday, a legal marketing consultant and the founder of First Call Friday. She helps small firm lawyers build strong referral-driven networks with smart strategy and simple systems that don't require big budgets or full-time marketing teams. I'm Kevin Rosenquist, and today we're diving into one of the most important and most ignored steps in building a referral engine, knowing who to actually target. Delisi, welcome back.
Hi.
So, we're going to start by talking about a referral target list that actually works. So what is a referral target list and why do lawyers need them?
Sure. A referral target list is going to be the list of attorneys you want to either give referrals to and or hope to receive referrals from. The way I like to describe it is, let's say someone says, "How do I get from San Antonio to Houston?" Well, I'm going to have to give you instructions and I have to give you a map. But if I don't give you the instructions and I don't give you a map, you're probably not going to get to Houston. You're probably not going to stop at Buc-ee's, which would be a shame. And so you need to have your list or your instructions, your map, so you know how to get there. And if you don't have your target list, you're not going to get where you want to go.
We talked last episode in our first episode about like the idea of kind of hoping for referrals and not taking more actionable steps. Why is that a danger instead of having, why is that more dangerous than having a list like we're talking about today?
So it's dangerous because I could hope for $1 million. But if I'm not doing anything to earn $1 million, it's not going to happen. The
Mhm.
same thing applies to referral marketing. If I don't have a list and I'm just hoping for referrals, who am I hoping to receive referrals from? What am I doing to encourage the referrals? And it's as if you don't have a plan. So
Right.
you have to have a plan or at least know where you wanna go.
So what's your suggestion for a plan for me to get $1 million? Is
$1
that not what this
million is
episode
a
is
whole
about?
episode in and of itself, Kevin.
You have, we talked before we hit record that you have an Excel spreadsheet resource that you're eager to share with listeners. Can you talk about that and how they can get their hands on it?
Sure. So I would love to share this with anyone who wants to take that first step in creating their list, their target list of attorneys for referral marketing. And essentially, what it is for anyone wondering, what is this Excel spreadsheet? What I have learned is creating a list of attorneys you want to give and receive referrals from is just a fraction of it because attorneys are busy and they have to dedicate their time where it's the highest and best use of their time, where they're going to get a return on their investment of time. And you have to determine where that time is spent in order for it to be successful and profitable. And the only way you do that is you divide up your list and you divide up your attention and you decide where you are going to spend your time because it makes the most sense. So I'll give you an example. Whenever I share this Excel spreadsheet with everyone, I tell lawyers to think of it like a traffic light: green, yellow, red. Green is going to be the attorneys who you already send cases to and or who already send cases back to you. Go. That's what you think of. Yellow light. These are the attorneys you kind of know. Maybe they've sent you a case here or there. Maybe you've sent them a case here or there. Maybe you have a little bit of a relationship, but you don't really know them. And that's your yellow light. Slow down. Red light is your tier 3, and those are the lawyers you don't really know yet. If you picked up the phone and called them, they'd be like, "Who are you?" They are people who are on your target list because you want to create a relationship with them, but you don't have one just yet. And the reason why that's important is because It's a lot easier when you're trying to do referral marketing to start with your low hanging fruit, to start off with those wins and build your momentum. You want to spend your time where you are going to get a lot of success and it'll motivate you to continue through the rest of the list. But if you don't categorize them and you don't have a plan of who you're calling first and second and third, or what actions you're taking with tier one, tier two, tier three, you're not going to have as much success. You're going
Yeah.
to lose your excitement. You're going to lose that drive. And that's what I don't want. I want people to have a lot of success right out the gate because then they get excited, they keep doing it. And when you categorize your list like that, you have a lot more success.
Yeah, it's like anything else, right? If you're trying to organize yourself, but you're failing and you're looking at a spreadsheet or you're looking at a document or something like that, and it's just chaos, it's really hard to keep that momentum. It's really hard to keep that desire to really move forward with whatever that project is.
Mhm. The other reason why it's also important is when you divide up your list like that, it's a very strong visual to see, man, I've only got 5 lawyers in my tier 1, but I have 20 in my tier 2.
Right.
So now I know if I'm that lawyer, I've gotta do a lot more things to cultivate those relationships so I can move them from my tier 2 to tier 1 and get more business from them. And it helps you see where you should be spending your time because until you write it out like that, you might not recognize it.
This list, is it something that is really just for lawyers in your network, or do you find that it's a good way to organize past clients, maybe people you've met at marketing events, or networking groups, things like that?
Sure. So I recommend it for lawyers and anyone else in your network you want to refer business to. And when you receive the Excel spreadsheet, there's also another column in there for notes and other contacts. And the reason why that's important is I'll give you an example. I've had several attorneys who have come to me and said, Delisi, I have a problem. One of my biggest referral partners, their department director for referrals just left to another firm. I've been working with that person for years, but I never talked to anybody else. Now that they're going, I'm really scared all my referrals are going to stop. And
Hmm.
so the reason why I suggest the Excel spreadsheet and writing down notes too is you never want to put yourself in a position where if someone leaves a firm, the referral business does too. You want to have your tentacles everywhere throughout that law firm and have notes of other people who are your contacts in that partnership. So, not if someone leaves, when, because there's turnover in every law firm, when someone leaves that law firm, you don't want your referral business to end when that person leaves too. And
Right.
so I recommend using that spreadsheet not just to list who your referral partners are, but who are the other people in the firm that I can continue to have relationships with. So if anyone ever leaves, my business doesn't end there too. And
Mhm.
who are other people who I want to have in my network to refer business to? I'll give you an example, personal injury lawyers. I love working with personal injury lawyers. A lot of them know financial advisors because they have to suggest a financial advisor to their client when their client says, I don't know what to do. I've never had this much money come into my bank account. What do I do with taxes? What's the best way for me to save for the future so I don't spend this all and it doesn't have a positive impact in my life? So, yes, I recommend adding other professionals on that list that you can refer business to. It doesn't have to be just lawyers.
Aside from the tiering, like you mentioned, the red, yellow, green, which I think is a great way to separate. Are there other segments that you have in there, or that you recommend to make the list more organized, more actionable?
Yes. So I recommend the different tiers and the notes in the section for each contact so you know who else is in the office, but also what type of cases they accept. So here's one thing that I've realized in my experience. Lawyers might accept a certain case type one year And then as they scale their business and they realize what types of cases make them more profitable or what types of cases may not be the highest and best use of their time anymore, they decide to no longer accept a certain type of case. So I might refer someone a premise liability case over and over and over and over again. But unless I consistently update their case acceptance criteria or I ask the question, has anything changed in the types of cases you accept? I might not know if that lawyer decided, you know what? I hate it when I have a Walmart slip and fall because I just don't want to go to federal court anymore. I'm
Hmm.
not going to accept premise liability cases. And so making sure you keep notes on the types of cases they accept and also the types of cases they don't accept is really key
Good
because
point.
you don't want to frustrate that client when you refer them to the law firm and they're like, sorry, we don't handle that type of case.
That's a good point.
And then your referral isn't going to have that positive experience anymore.
Yeah, that's really, really, really good point. Because like if you don't know, then you're constantly referring business to somebody and it's not going anywhere. Yeah, you got to keep that. You got to know if it's working or not.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take it a step further. The other part of that is when you ask the question, if they ever say, no, you know what, I don't take those cases anymore, then you can say, okay, who are you referring those cases to?
Hmm.
Because that's where I find out, okay, now I need to add another referral partner to my list. If that lawyer's like, you know what, I actually don't know who to send these cases to anymore, you can take it upon yourself to find out who to refer those cases to, create a new connection, and then go to your referral partner and say, Kevin, guess what? I know an attorney who could be great for you to refer those cases to. And I promise you, that other lawyer who's now a new referral contact, not just for you, but for your referral partner, is going to love that you made that connection.
Right. 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 Is there, you know, a way that lawyers can reach out to someone on these lists, that are low cost, no cost? Like, how do you advise people as far as that goes?
Yes. So I am such a nerd that I
Join the
created
club.
I created a list of examples because I get this question all the time. Lawyers are like, look, Delisi, I'm not you. I don't know how to call up this lawyer and not sound weird and just say, hey, you have a case? And I'm like, well, duh, don't say that. No one wants to get a phone call that says, hey, do you have a case? That's not beneficial. No one's going to pick up that call.
Right.
So I have a list of examples that I'm happy to share as a resource as well in case someone is hitting that block and is just like, oh, I know I need to check in my referral partners, but I don't know what to do to check in. So I'll give you a couple of examples. One example I do all the time is lawyers are constantly going out to a bar event or a conference. So let's say I'm going to go out to a conference next week. I will dedicate time to either email, text, or call some of the referral partners I have and say, hey, Kevin, I'm going to the State Bar of Texas annual meeting next week. Will I see you there? And it's a good way to say, hey, it's a good way to say, are you going to this event? It's a good way to find out if you're going to see one of your referral partners there, and if they don't know about the event, it's a good way to let them know about an upcoming event so maybe they can attend. And so I like to use that as an example because you don't have to call and say, hey, do you have a case? You can do something simple like that. You might not realize could be helpful to another attorney. And make sure when you go to that networking event, you're maximizing the conversations that you have. Because then I know, okay, I'm going to the State Bar of Texas annual event next week, and I've got 3 of my referral partners going. Well, now maybe I can schedule a dinner together and I can really maximize my time there. So that's something simple. It doesn't require any money, and it's a conversation you can have that doesn't feel salesy, and anyone can do it.
Yeah, there's a fine line, right, between staying top of mind and being annoying because we've all had those salespeople, those connections that you wish you didn't make because you're like, good man, just stop. All right. I'll let you know when I need something. So you have to walk that line, and I think some people are better at it than others.
Yeah.
Right. So,
I
like, how do you coach people to walk that line? Because, I mean, you want to be top of mind, like you said, but you also don't want to turn them off either.
exactly. And that's where I think that's where I created this list because I realized things that I take for granted that come so naturally to me, maybe don't come so naturally to other people.
Yeah.
So I have an example like, hey, this is what you do if you're going to a conference. The other thing is, what about if you like, I'll give you an example. I have my daughter in golf camp right now for this summer. It's summer, so I had to figure out what I was doing with her. And
I
as
know
I
that
was
feeling.
leaving, I was like, "You know what? This is an idea." If you have a referral partner who has kids, if you have an activity that your kid or children are doing, and you could share that activity with one of your referral partners, think about how great that is. It took me hours and hours to find this golf camp that I'm sending my daughter to. If someone called or sent me a message with golf camp info, I would be thrilled because it meant I wouldn't have to look up the information anymore. I could send my kid somewhere and I know someone else is going to be there. And so I might have fun going to drop her off because I have a friend. And naturally, what happens is, hey, I'm dropping off my kid, you're dropping off your kid. We see each other for a week straight. We're going to say hello and talk about golf. But you know what else we're going to do? We're going to talk about business because that's just what you do. And so if you think about things in your everyday life too, those can be connections to make too. Summer camp is one idea, but what if there's something cool going on in the city and I could just share that information and say, "Hey, Kevin, I'm taking my daughter to this event at the museum. Maybe this is something your kids would love too." I would love it if other people reached out to me with ideas of things that I could do with my kids because I'm constantly trying to do that for myself. And
Yep.
the other part is these are relationships, they're not transactions. So I want to create relationships and I want to create strong bonds with my referral partners when you can invite them or suggest ideas for things that are kid friendly. I mean, my kid's gonna bring your name up all the time whenever she goes golfing because your kid was in that golf camp too.
Yep.
And now my kid is championing you as my referral partner because of that one thing, just that one thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a really good point. Yeah. I wish more people would tell me what to do with my kid. I need help.
It's so hard.
It is. It's so hard. Yeah. What about, inevitably there's going to be some people listening to us right now going, oh, I live in a tiny little town. This would never work for me. Or my practice is so competitive. Like the industry there, this practice area is so competitive. This will not work. What are you, what say you to those comments?
I say the same thing over and over again, which is no one is for everybody. And if you think about episode 1 where I talked about no one converts 100% of their cases, you can
Right.
apply that to this too. You're in a small town. Okay. Do you convert 100% of your cases? No. Okay. That's a referral opportunity. Um, my area is really competitive. Okay. Um, I am a big believer that there is enough cases for everybody. And what I know to be true is as lawyers, you have to think about when you have a conflict of interest and decide how you're going to handle it. Would you rather have a conflict of interest and refer it to someone you don't know very well or have a conflict of interest and say, "Hey, you know what? I can't handle this case. I have a conflict, but let me refer you to this person. I really respect them and we have a great relationship. They'll be able to help you."
Hmm.
And those are examples that can happen anytime, anywhere. It doesn't matter what industry you're in, it doesn't matter how big or small your town is or how competitive it is. No one is for everyone. And at some point, someone's going to have a conflict of interest and they will want to refer that business to someone. Why not you?
All right, absolutely. Good stuff. All right, well, that's it for today's episode. Your referral list isn't just a spreadsheet, it's a strategy. Make it focused, make it useful, and most of all, make it happen. If you want help creating one that actually brings in cases, or if you want to look, get the lists that Delisi was mentioning in this episode, head to firstcallfriday.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Leave us a review. We definitely enjoy you being part of our community. Delisi, I enjoyed talking to you today as usual. Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe to this podcast. And please share this episode with a peer who can also benefit from case referrals. For more information or to connect with me, Delisi Friday, visit firstcallfriday.com.